Welcome back to our video series on palette controls. In this video, we'll look at the 5 types of selection controls available in Fravo. Before we begin, it's important to note that the options list for selection controls can be set statically in the controls properties, or you can set them dynamically at runtime from an external source such as a database. Please visit our documentation to learn more about dynamic options. First, we'll drag a drop-down control to our canvas. The drop-down control displays a list of options in a drop-down menu and allows a single selection. The first choice in the drop-down list is blank. You define the other choices by editing the control's options property. The syntax for selection control options is value equals label. The value is what is sent behind the scenes when the user submits the form, and the label is what will be displayed on your form. The drop-down supports type ahead, which helps users jump through long lists of options. Some selection controls offer a comment property. When checked, this displays a comment box when the last option in your list is chosen. Next, let's grab a radio control. This adds mutually exclusive radio buttons. Over in the Styles tab, we can use the Item Width property to display the options horizontally. The checkbox control works in a similar way, but allows multiple selections. The TF, or true-false control, is a Boolean control, and the options default to true equals yes and false equals no. When you drag the control from the palette, only the yes option will be visible. You can change the option labels, but remember that changes to the label for false are irrelevant, as it will never be visible on the form. The option values cannot be changed and will always stay as true and false. When the control is checked, the value will be true. Leaving it unchecked translates to a value of false, but this value will not show in the submitted form data. If you check the required property, the form data will show the value of false when the control is not selected. Note that you cannot require a user to check the TF control, since in Boolean terms, lack of selection is considered a selection of no. If you need to require a single checkbox, use a checkbox control with only one option instead. Finally, let's look at the combo box control. The combo box control supports 3 types of data retrieval: Fravo users, Fravo roles, and web service. Designers select the data source from the option source property. This control supports type ahead, multi-select, and entering values not in the options list. You can limit the available selections by selecting options value only, and limit responses using the single value property. A common use case for Combo Box is to provide a list of users in your tenant to pick from, perhaps to route a workflow dynamically to the user chosen at runtime.